Welcome to my channel. This is Miss Mother Trucker. I am sitting here waiting to deliver a load tomorrow in South Carolina. No, day after tomorrow, excuse me. Anyway, as we're winding up the end of our year, 2023, wow, it was crazy. So much happened good in 2023 and so much bad. We've watched the deal for the truckers go up, down. We've heard about the load boards going crazy, rates going crazy, gas prices shooting up and then dropping. We've seen our government try to take over and avert an election, which whoever would have thought we would have seen that in our lives, where a state and judges decide who can run for president. I thought that was up to us, the people, but that's here and there. We've seen a lot of crazy stuff going on in the world. Made friends, lost friends. We've seen tons of beautiful, talented people that you and my generation we watched come and go this year. Unfortunately, we saw Miss Olivia Newton-John. She passed. Meatloaf. Of course, Betty White just before the year started. Suzanne Summers. Just a lot of brilliant actors and actresses. That guy from Friends, whatever his name was. I didn't watch Friends, okay? But I know to some of you that person mattered. And he mattered in every which way. But you know what I'm saying. So, but it's just sad. All the wonderful people that have passed. That we grew up with. And the older we get and the more of these New Years we see. And the more you see, you're going to see more and more people go. And here at my company that I worked for at Prime, we've lost a couple drivers. We lost one, unfortunately. I don't think we're ever going to know what happened to him, but he went missing and months later was found 20 feet from where his truck was. I guess to some people his life just didn't matter. And that is heartbreaking to me and pisses me the hell off. We lost another one. He wrecked his truck. We don't know what happened exactly with it. I don't know if he lost control, if there was a blowout, if he had a heart attack. He was a new driver. Personally, I didn't think he should have been a driver. But that was heartbreaking for his family, and they've just spent both families just spent their first holidays without him. And that is truly heartbreaking. Now, some people were not touched by 2023's events. Like Lyle No Hippie, he didn't see a dip in his revenue to his truck. Very lucky. Terry from Tim Travels did see dips in his revenues. I did. And some of you are asking, well, is this a good time to come into trucking? You know, that's a complicated question. I wouldn't recommend it, but what are your circumstances? Like when I came into trucking, I had lost everything due to the plague. The governor shut my company down. I had to lay off all my employees, sell everything at a fire sale because I'd never been in a pandemic. I panicked. If I wouldn't have panicked, I would have been in a much better position a few years later. I could have sold my farm for $250,000. My company, I could have sold for much more. I don't regret coming into trucking. I love trucking. And this year also, a few months ago, as y'all know, I bought my truck, the Pearl. Love the Pearl. But we'll get back to the Pearl later. But coming into trucking, I think if you have a job that you're making, you know, $500 to $1,000 a week, you're home every night, you might want to stick with it for now and not come into trucking right at this juncture. Wait for another year or so, see when it starts to turn around for you. But if you're in a position that you are making $300 to $500 a week, you cannot afford your rent, you cannot afford your utilities, you're single, you don't have a family to support, yeah, I mean, why not? You live on your truck. You will no longer have to worry about rent. You'll no longer have to worry about utilities. I mean, you're going to have to pay your phone bill. Otherwise, you're living debt-free. You can get a hot plate. You can get the stuff to prepare your food on your truck where you're not spending a ton of money. You could literally live on $50 a week as a single person if you need to. I mean, I say that and I spent $500 today on groceries and crap for my truck, but it'll last me almost a month. I mean, I literally wait until, the end. So if that's the case, yeah, I mean, come in, get your feet wet, learn the industry, and that could be a great time to come into trucking because you don't have the pressures, but you got to come into it with a realization that we are slow right now. My company's really pushing to hire, which I don't understand because I've been told that we only have, out of all the drivers we only have loads for 85% of them. Why are we then asking more people to come in? I don't understand this, unless Prime has some new contracts that we're just not privy to that aren't going to kick in until after the first of the year, and we're going to see some changes, which it very well could be. But until that happens, I personally, if I had a decent job, I would not quit it to come into trucking right now. I would wait and see what happens with the industry over the next year. I mean, really, I just wouldn't. But if you're in that position that, you just can't make the bills, you can't save, you can't get ahead, and you're single or you're a married couple and both of you are going to come into it and live on your truck, and you think you can mentally handle this. I've been on my truck for 3 years. Not this particular, not the Pearl. Now, the Pearl's a whole cat of a different color, child, let me tell you, with her dinette. And I usually have my fireplace here, but with my student, it's underneath the truck. It is awesome. Plus, I own this truck. So if I have a slow week, and let's say I only bring in $800 or $1,000, that I consider a no payday. So, but let's say that's what I bring. Also, I've made another payment on my truck, on my home. But this is my home for now. We're going to be talking about some future plans here. So, when you look at it like that, even in this slower economy, if I can get my truck paid off in the next 2 years, or even 3, I went for 3 years on my contract, but I want to pay it off sooner. I can really get ahead, because once I don't have this note on this truck, that's an extra $1,400 a week in my paycheck. And I think in the next year, we're going to see a little bit of a turnaround, depending on who wins the election and so forth. So I'm real excited to see what happens. But far as coming into trucking, like I said, it depends. Everyone has their own needs, the place you are in life, and you really want to look into that. So if you're happy with coming on a truck, living on a truck, having no bills but your cell phone, why the hell not? So let's say you spend $100, $150 a week on food, and you're doing $1,500 to $1,800 a week take home. You know, as a lease operator, not as a, you know, company employee. But let's say you want to go company and you're happy with $800, $1,200 a week. And I don't know if they're making that because of how slow it is. So, you know, still, let's just go in the middle. Let's say $1,200 a week, you're spending $200. You're putting $1,000 a week aside. That's $54,000 you can save in 1 year by living on your truck and living frugally. Now, the following year, let's say it picks up. You got a year's experience. You're learning where loads, you know, where if I take a load that's not so great from here to here, I'm going to be able to reload here with a better paying load. And you're learning all the ins and outs. You're learning to become a better backer. You're learning to become a better driver, a better business person. And the following year, you're up to saving $100,000 a year or more, because you've learned to live on less, and you don't get stupid and start blowing your money because you're making more. Save that money. So that's just my opinion and how I would consider doing it. And I mean, a lot of people are like, bitch, you shallow, you getting a facelift, you this, that. Yes, I am, because I can afford it. Okay. Because Mama knows how to put her money away. But anyway, I'll tell you, I have gotten hit pretty hard since I bought the Pearl, because she's been in and out of the shop. It's been a little rough. The slowdown and everything, but things are starting to roll again. I will have surgery coming up here in about March, 1st of March time frame. And then I do have a couple more surgeries coming up over the next 7 months. But on my goals for this year is to get a home. I've been homeless now for 3 years. I mean, I've lived on my truck, but I've been basically homeless. I'm going to buy an RV. Again, I mean, I have a fifth wheel, but I'm looking for like a Class C Bigfoot type of RV. 4 seasons. I'm also looking to buy a piece of property in, I'm thinking the Arizona area. I know I have 40 acres, but I'm thinking down on 10 where it doesn't get real cold. You can have citrus trees, and, you know, because I pass through Quartzsite all the time, the Quartzsite area. And it's a big RV community of nomads, and I'm a nomad, so, you know. But I do need a home base. I'm tired of I need a place to restock. I need a place I can buy a side of beef, throw in a deep freezer. Then I can come home every, you know, couple weeks on my way through, restock my truck. I can bulk buy. I'm a little bit of a prepper, you know, so I do need a good home base with property. And I'll put a park model RV there, or maybe a small mobile home. But somewhere I can have paid for cash. So I'm looking for that in 2024. I'm looking to finish up getting Mama's groove back here. You know what I'm saying? And in 2023, what did I do in 2023 besides struggle? I did buy the Pearl, so I purchased my truck. I lost 130 pounds. I had round 1 BBL, the Bazoombas, lifted, and I am going to retouch these up because Mama's not happy. I've lost a few friends. I've made a few more friends. In fact, I made a friend today. Awesome lady named Suzanne. So, hey, Susie. Just want to say hi. And, you know, of course, I have Lyle. Consider him a friend. I'd like to be friends with Terry from Tim Travels. I think the dude is awesome. Jim C, that's a channel. And check out both their channels, by the way. Lyle's No Hippie Trucking. full of great information. Tim Travels, Terry at Tim Travels, man, is brilliant. I mean, the mind, it is mind-blowing. Both of these gentlemen served our country, and very proud of them. That's another thing. My nephews joined the military. It seems like, you know, I have like 20 years military background as a wife and as his girlfriend before that. My kids are all military brats. So it's so weird to see this next generation going into the military, and they're going to be going to the commissary, the PXs, living in military housing. Their wives will be going to pre-deployment briefings, and, you know, it's strange to see that. It's really, it's mind-blowing for me. But life moves on. Life marches on. But, you know, all these people who served, like Terry, Lyle, thank you. I know what they went through, and thank you their wives and their families and the sacrifices they made. They're appreciated. But this war is still going on, you know? I mean, we're still at war around the world. It's sad. I'd like to see it all stop. I really would. But let's wish, as we close out 23, let's wish all these people the best in life and thank them for what they've done. And, you know, we watched the market crash this year in trucking. People taking loads for next to nothing and bringing down the price of freight. You know, what we're getting paid. It's sad. I really wish Prime would slow up on the hiring process too, because they're going full tilt when they don't have enough loads for the drivers they have. This doesn't make sense. That's why I think we're going to see some better stuff coming up next year. I think, you know, Rob Lowe did not become a billionaire being stupid. The man knows what's going on. He has things working in the future that we're just not privy to yet. So I'm excited to see what happens there. Will I always be at Prime? I don't know. I'd like to be able to finish my career here, but I might be moving to Alaska. You know, not full-time. I'm going to live in Arizona, and I might do Alaska part-time. And I definitely will be buying property in Alaska, but, you know, not this coming year. It'll be the following year. But I might move my residency there. So we'll see. There's going to be some Alaska adventures. There's going to be a lot of adventures, a lot of things happening in 2024, things I'm going to be finishing up. There's going to be new projects I'll be starting. I will be staying in trucking. It doesn't necessarily mean with Prime. I hope to stay with Prime at least long enough to pay off the Pearl. And if not, I'll take the Pearl with me wherever I go. But, I would love to be able to stay with Prime the rest of my trucking career. But I do want to get to a certain point that I'm driving part-time. The Pearl's paid for. I'm not working so much during the winter. I'm getting more into my photography and homesteading and things I love to do. But anyway, I know this video's been all over the place. Lots of exciting things coming up next year. I hope y'all are gonna have a great New Year's Eve. I hope, if you're watching this after New Year's Eve, that you had a great New Year's Eve. I'm wishing everybody the best in this coming year. And please treat each other with kindness and respect. Practice inclusion, not exclusion, because you never know who you might meet, and you might really like them. And I'm wishing y'all a happy New Year's, happy holidays. Please be blessed. And until my next video, have a wonderful... Oh, and another goal of mine this year, I want to hit 10,000 subscribers. And there's a lot of things coming up that I think y'all are going to really enjoy. And thank you, each and every one of you, for subscribing to my channel. It just blows my mind that y'all are willing to spend this time with me. I do not take that for granted, and I'm very grateful for it. And lots of love to y'all, and please take care until next time. Miss Mother Trucker out.